Is he pulling on me? This is what I got to deal with.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 251, Mike. We're on the other side, the other side of that mountain, the 250 that we were working so hard to get to. We're
Yes.
over that, over the hump, and just
Over
coincidentally,
the
Mike,
hump.
it's hump day. So
Over the hump.
we're over the hump today, my man.
We are over the hump today.
How you be?
I'm doing all right. So I the past 2 days I've been on a work meeting, and it's like 100 people on this Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staring at the screen for 4 hours and my eyes are bleeding. Now I got to come home and stare at another screen for an hour and a half, two
Well, at least
hours.
you have something lovely to look at on
My
this screen.
beautiful background, Mike. It's supposed to be like red and blue, but my wall's blue, so it's coming up purple.
I like it.
Me too. It's like I was saying off air. It's rather soothing. So when I have to argue about Ben DiNucci,
If you take the big
I have something
the
to stare
Polish
at.
meathead out of the middle of it, it's a pretty nice picture you got there.
As you can see, there's the wall.
I see it. It looks good.
It's a work in progress.
It looks all right, man. It's better. It's better.
It is a lot better than the plain wall back there.
Yeah.
I'm having a little problems with the stuff I was going to do in the background, spacing wise didn't work out. So I have to figure something out here.
It's better than when you were doing it from your creepy uncle's
I still am.
basement.
I still am. It's just better lighting down here.
The with all those creepy things down there. That was weird times.
You put the lotion on the skin, you get new lights. So I was putting the lotion on the skin, man.
251, everybody. It's Wednesday. Good morning. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers. We got some things we're going to talk about today. We got some sports, Mike. I got Pitt is doing something that they haven't done in 7 seasons. We got stadium updates here in Pittsburgh. We have NFL trade speculation and rumors. And also we have XFL scoop, because yesterday was the big draft for the XFL, the college draft. USFL. What did I say?
You said XFL.
XFL.
And there's a big difference.
We got a lot going on today, Mike.
Yes, we do.
Pitt goes at it last night with Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech comes in, not too good of a team. They hang in with Pitt for a while. Pitt ultimately gets the win, 76-68. It puts Pitt at 20 wins for the season. Mike, that's the first time a Pitt basketball team has done that since the 2015-2016 season. Nelly Cummings finishes with 22 points. DeMar Hamlin was there. It was a big night. He got a rousing ovation.
Nice.
Pretty good game. It was a blackout. All the students in the zoo, they all had their black on. It looked like it was a great time to be up there. I enjoyed it from home. But the Panthers did get it, Mike. They moved. We have 3 games left. 3 games left. Saturday they play Syracuse, and then they finish up with Notre Dame and Miami next week. So it's getting down to it, man.
It is getting down to the wire. This is getting to like my favorite part of college basketball, because I'm not a big college basketball fan, but once the tourney hits, I become that guy. I get invested. Once that small school comes out of note, I will, yeah. Not a pay one, because I know I'm not going to win, but I fill it out, and then I find like that small school that has that upset in the first round. Then I'm that guy who researches everything I can about that school to act like I've been a fan of them forever and be like, yeah why didn't you know about this team? Right. Duh. I'm that guy. I am that guy.
Everybody knows about Creighton.
I guarantee there's someone out there that has like some mid-major no one ever heard of that's going to come in and win, and they'd be like, no, I've been following this team for the past 30 years. I can tell you everything about them, and I saw this coming 30 years ago. And everyone will look at them like a fool, but there will be one person out there who does know that team.
Yeah. And there's these guys, I mean, they follow college basketball so closely when it comes time to fill out their brackets. They're pretty informed, but you know what? A lot of times those guys, they finish, I mean, they do okay, but you need more luck than know-how and knowledge when it comes time for the bracket, because a lot of times there's upsets, and the easy thing to do would go with all the high picks, but unfortunately that isn't the way that it always turns out.
No, you think, because you figure your 1 seeds, they never really get upset in the first round,
right?
Maybe a couple years ago, wasn't there like that major upset where that team upset
ones? Yeah, I mean,
but like you figure your 1s make it every once in a while. There's a 2, a 3, but it's not till you get to like, deeper down in that bracket when you start to get those upsets in the first round.
Yes.
Because as like an 8-9 matchup, is that really an upset? No.
Right.
And that's a coin flip there. Who plays like 7-12 play each other, right? Something like
Yeah.
that's kind of a coin flip, depending on what conference you came out of, you're getting put here. But those I don't consider upsets. But when you get like a 3 knocked out, a 4 knocked out, that's an upset to me.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited. I can't wait. You've obviously have, like I said, the last 3 games. You have the ACC tournament, and then shortly after that, we'll be watching the selection show, see who gets in, see where they get in, and it will be March Madness before you know it. It'll be just mad games, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Take a couple days off, start it all over again. You knock out a couple rounds a week. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait, Mike. I can't wait. It is something to look forward to every year.
I can't wait. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I'm not that huge basketball guy, but once it comes up, man, I am ready for it.
Yeah. The Pitt Panthers, Mike. The Pitt Panthers, they remain the best team in the country against the spread. People in Vegas hate the Pitt Panthers because of this.
I love it. I love it.
And just maybe because there's so much money and influence and pull and power with Vegas.
Yeah.
And maybe this is why we haven't cracked the top 25.
It could, that could be. It could be just because, Pitt upsets everyone and they're like, what? F these guys.
Yeah.
We're not going to rank them. We're not going to give them any love. And that's it.
And you know what? That would be a shame, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I said, people with a lot of money, they do things that we never will know that they do, all the time, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would.
This is true.
I wouldn't run to the regular man and tell them everything I'm doing if I was rich.
Neither would I.
But the Pitt Panthers, they will be back in action on Saturday. They play 5 o'clock against Syracuse at the Pitt Panthers. Or I'm sorry, Syracuse comes in with a 16-11 overall, Mike. I think they are 9-7 in the conference. It should be a good game for a little while. Pitt tends to do that. They let people hang around, and then they do their thing and ultimately finish. I'm watching this game yesterday, and they're going on and on about the 3-point the 3-pointer that Pitt lives and dies with, and that's kind of scary because to be that consistent with the 3-pointer all the time is a very difficult thing to do. And when you rely on that game in, game out, I think that you're eventually gonna fail because like I said, you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect all the time. Shooting, you got to have a high 3 percentage, and it's possible, but I think they need somebody else also. They lack a big man.
They do.
I mean, Federico, he does what he does, but you know what? I'm watching some of these other teams in the conference with Virginia Tech and Boston College, a few of these teams that we just played, and they all ultimately have that big oafy white guy in the middle who doesn't seem to be that effective. But you know what? When you're game planning and you're playing, that person does come into effect, and I think that goes a long way. And I think that ultimately combined with their need for the 3 is going to be what dooms the Panthers when it comes to the tournament. When you're starting to play teams that are, the better teams, you come out and you play a team that's going to be a tough game for you. And you don't have a good 3 day, and you can't control the boards. I think that's going to be it, Mike. I think that will be ultimately the Panthers' demise. I'd like to see them go all the way, but like I said, I do think there's a couple pretty big holes in the in what they're doing.
Yeah, and to piggyback what you're saying about them, if you can't hit the threes, look out. It's going to be a tough night. Look at the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry and Klay Thomas. If they can't hit threes, like you said, you need the big guy. Okay, you can dish it down low to Draymond. They have guys on the inside who can score too.
Yeah.
So when one part of your game fails, that main point, you have to have a backup plan. Like Golden State has a backup plan, and Pitt, like you said, man, they really don't have that backup plan. And a lot of college teams, man, they will live and die by the 3. We saw that years ago when who was at Princeton was making a little run. I believe it was them, and it was live by the 3 or die by the 3, and that's what they did. And if you get hot, man, it can carry you. But once you cool off on that 3 game, if you don't have a plan B, you're kind of screwed. But
it's really
it's fun to watch though.
It really is. If their game is on, if these guys are, they're hitting on all cylinders from the arc, it's a really fun thing to watch, and it's a special thing to watch. However, this is something that really hit me in the past couple of games against Virginia Tech and against Boston College and against teams that do have that big man down there. You don't have that. You're missing a lot. And
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I mean, like Federico's a big dude, but he doesn't play that
Mm-hmm.
position. He doesn't play the traditional center position, and I
Yeah.
think that is what a team like Pitt, who does take a lot of outside shots and does shoot from the arc a lot, they will be missing is that guy getting the boards. And it was obvious and apparent in the games against Boston College and against Virginia Tech because they did have that guy who wasn't anything amazing, but like I said, that presence is a
Yeah.
big presence to have down there. And especially in a sloppy kind of game when the threes are off and the jump shot is off, it's always nice to have that size down there. But
Yeah.
that I think will be what it is that the Achilles heel that will kill Pitt eventually when it comes tournament time.
I do want to say though, coming up into this game, they play Syracuse, correct?
Yes.
I hope they win. Jim Boeheim, talk about someone who has overstayed their welcome in college basketball. He's assaulting college age reporters because he didn't like their line of questioning.
Yeah.
Is poo-pooing on like a team like Pitt saying, oh, they bought all their players because of the transfer
Right.
and the NIL deals and all that. Like, it's like, get out of here, dude. Like you've forgotten more about basketball than a lot of people will ever know. But the game and everything has passed you by. The way it is, just comes a time, man. You got to step aside, let the next generation take over.
And we had to sit there and watch all his teams, and that's the thing. They stink. He's just trying to find a way to justify it, and you see this all the time, and a lot of times we're that team. So what, we'll take it for what it is. Jim Boeheim.
Yeah, I do like the suggestion of Jesse Marshall. He's a hockey writer. You see him following a lot on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I want Pitt fans at the zoo to show up with like a more or less like a big receipt and have all the players' name there and price tags next to them and stuff like that. Yeah, I was like, that to me that was funny. I was like, that's a good idea, and I would love to see it because I used to like Jim Boeheim, but the older he gets, man, oh god, he's that crotchety old guy.
I got a friend. Basically, every team that ever wins a championship is his team. And it was a lot of times it was Syracuse when we were growing up because they had some good teams for a while. And that team about 10 years ago, that McNamara, they won. So I had to put up with it. I'm just gonna be happy to get, and like I said, if we beat them, which we probably should, I just want to get Syracuse behind us and put them in the rear view.
I liked them when they had who was it? Donovan McNabb, wasn't it? Yeah. McNabb? Yeah, when he was there doing Bill Sports, that's when I that they were like my team because they had Donovan McNabb back then, and I was like, okay, that was cool. You really don't see that two-sport athlete, and so he was rare to where he was that good of a two-sport athlete.
Donovan. Yeah, Donovan.
So McNabb. It's like, okay, I watched him then, and I started to like Syracuse basketball.
That's the thing. I never hated them. I just didn't like him. Like I said, my one friend, he was always on and on with Syracuse. But like I said, it was every team every year.
Derpy.
Hey, what up, Dirt? They just if it was Florida State, then he was a big Florida State fan. If it was Syracuse, if it was whatever the team it was, and it was just okay, yeah, that's your team.
UConn's women basketball right here, baby.
You know what, UConn? I mean, they went years and years without losing any basketball games, and that was impressive. I thought what the UConn girls did was pretty amazing. And to be just dominant. A general overall UConn girls fan, I didn't really think too much in it because just in general, the girls don't get the attention. So if there's that one team that's making way like UConn and Tennessee did for a long time, I had no problem with that. But it was the guys' teams and these guys that would always switch. You see it now in the NFL.
Yeah,
they were the big Seahawks fans 10 years ago, and
everyone has their Seahawks jersey, their 12 jersey.
Yeah.
No, I did not watch the Daytona 500.
No,
I'm not a big auto guy. If I do watch anything, it will be like the F1 stuff, where they do like the big Grand Prix, left and right turns. I was never big into stock cars, but you give me the little cars that go, I'll watch that all day long.
Before we alley-oop out of college basketball, Mike, one observation. It's not even basketball; it's college news. The Georgia Bulldogs. I didn't know this, but I just seen this morning that the Georgia Bulldogs, 2 years in a row now, they haven't been invited to the White House after their national championships in college football. Do you know anything about this?
I do not know. That's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. I did not notice that. I did
No,
not know
I
that.
didn't.
No.
And it just never gets this White House thing.
Is Biden, maybe Biden's an Auburn fan and he's like, no, Roll Tide is not coming through here, man. Not unless the Auburn Tigers are coming up.
I read through that this morning while I was going through
Yeah.
some things. And I thought, wow, I didn't even dawn on me. There's
Yeah.
never any problems until what was it? The 1 year James Harrison said he wasn't going to go. And then after that, it seemed like every year there was a guy that didn't want to go. And then this
Yeah.
team was going to go. And I think it
Yeah.
was the 05, was it 05, 06? The Steelers won a Super Bowl and James Harrison, he just, I don't think he had any political issues. I think he just didn't want to go
I don't
because,
think he wanted to go. He wore his dark
yeah,
sunglasses trying to look there all mean and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
But no,
he was missing workouts and shit,
yeah. I'm going with Biden is an Auburn fan and Roll Tide is not coming through that White House.
Oh, Georgia's who were.
Okay, yeah, I did hear something about that. People were like, "Oh, you mean to tell me it was like the first time they saw a NASCAR race?" They're like, "Oh, so they last half hour of NASCAR is like the last half hour of basketball. It's going to take 45 minutes to play all the fouls and everything." And this one had like all those cautions and everything. I remember reading that.
Like there's going to be some renovations, some things going on at some of the local stadiums here.
Yes.
In Western Pennsylvania, and also a little bit further. Let me get into that in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike, they have so we talked about yesterday. There's a $1.4 million tag on the renovations they're doing at Heinz Field. Now this is the upper deck. They are taking the troughs out, Mike. The troughs on the upper deck, and they're replacing in regular stalls and urinals and things like that. What's the problem with the trough? I like the trough. The trough's a man thing. You go in there and there's men peeing everywhere. And it's just,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe people just don't want to look at each other anymore. And they want they want that little wall right there.
Well, the wall is not what gets me. It's the person standing directly behind you, breathing on your neck.
Yeah,
because there's a line of guys.
Like with the trough, there's no shoulder room. So at least with the stall, you got a little shoulder room. You got room.
You like the stall.
Yeah, I like the stall more than even the I like the stall more than the urinal. Give me the stall, man.
You do weird shit when you go in there.
Oh heck yeah, man! You got to sometimes boxers got twisted and everything. You got to readjust, pull down. Just you have privacy. You feel more at home.
I like the trough. Like I said, you walk into the bathroom. Generally, you have to wait for the right time to go to the restroom because if you go in, you're going to walk in the door and there's already going to be a line, or the line's going to be already out the door. You're already breathing down somebody's neck, and somebody's breathing down your neck. And one time I made the mistake of taking my oldest child to a game, and we were in the bathroom, and he was still young.
And
he was at the age where he still pulled his pants all the way down to his ankles. That could have been the worst. I mean, that was probably the worst and the bad experience that I had with the trough. But I generally enjoy the trough. You pee, you spit, I don't know. You don't turn your head to the side for no reason whatsoever. You just look ahead and you piss. I don't know.
I prefer the stall. Give me some privacy.
Across the parking lot, Mike, PNC Park, they are making the scoreboard bigger. The scoreboard is going to be bigger. They're they're loading it in on cranes. I seen yesterday, Mike, they have cranes, or they're bringing pieces of the scoreboard in. I thought we already had a big scoreboard, but you look at like City Park, places like this. I mean, these scoreboards are massive. They take up a third of the outfield. And it's one thing that I'm excited about. They are going to make PNC Park scoreboard bigger. Is it necessary? Could they have used that money to make, brought some players in to, make the team better? I don't know. But so there is, Mike, they have a bigger scoreboard at PNC Park.
Why? No one's going to go. No one's going to be at the game. You don't need to make it bigger. Like 5 people show up to a game. Makes no sense to me.
Here's an interesting tidbit. You want to hear a tidbit, Mike?
I like tidbit.
We're talking about the Pirates. We're talking about the Steelers. The Pirates won the same amount of playoff games as the Steelers over the last 12 seasons. The Pirates won the same amount of playoff games as the Steelers did in the last 12 seasons.
That's sad. That's sad. Burn the Steelers down to the ground, run them out of town, give all their money to the Pirates.
That's just a crazy thing to hear, isn't it?
That is.
I mean, if that isn't a kick in the ass for the Steelers front office to start making things happen on this team, I don't know what is, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got the Steelers putting $1.4 million into upper deck bathrooms. You couldn't have put that into an offensive coordinator or, you know, something to help your team get a little bit further and maybe get a
Yeah,
playoff win more than the Pittsburgh Pirates.
you would think, but hey, man, it's all about making the money. They're in the hunt. They make money, and that seems to be all they care about now is just being in the hunt to make money.
You know, it's sad. It's a sad thing, you know, because players, we or I mean fans, I'm sorry, we think that they're doing everything that they can to try to win football games. And at the end of the day, when we're buying merchandise, we're getting excited every week, we're talking about it, and you find out that, I mean, that isn't their ultimate goal, is to win. It's to make money. And I mean, it's the harsh, sad truth. I mean, that's what life is. But like I said, you couldn't have took some money and got an offensive coordinator or something, you know,
Yeah.
something to better the product, opposed to.
Well, hopefully they have enough money to where they don't, not like the Pirates where they have to pinch pennies to like one or the other. The Steelers should have enough money to spend on both. I just think they're starting to be kind of cheap right now, especially like in their coaching staff. They don't like to spend like Rooney doesn't like to spend a lot of money on coaches, which I find weird because that's still that old school mentality of you don't need that many coaches. We're seeing now coaching staffs are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and to where it's like more specialized. Every position is like specialized, so
Right.
they need to do that. You have offensive coordinators, you have a pass game coordinator, a run game coordinator that answers to the offensive coordinator. You have running back coach,
You
quarterback
got a
coach.
guy that makes sure they wipe their asses.
Yeah,
Now if you
exactly.
got
We need more of that.
uh Penn State, go to the middle of the state, Michael. Penn State plans to renovate Beaver Stadium and is going to open their
Yes,
doors beyond football game days. Mike, do you like this?
I do like this. I've been reading up on it. They did like a whole analysis of is it cheaper to build a new one or renovate, and they found out to renovate it is going to be cheaper, and then because they want to start hosting like major bowl games there. They want to host a college playoff game there, and if you know there's nothing going on out in Happy Valley, but except for there's a Penn State game, and that place, you've seen these games against like Ohio State, Michigan, when they have those night games.
Right.
That place is rocking and rolling, and just even if you have like other fan bases there, that place is going to be rocking and rolling, and it's just a
It's
great
just such a
atmosphere.
huge
Oh yeah,
facility.
and I know they've been trying to get like hockey games there for like the Winter Classic and Stadium Series. It's a beautiful place. The God, there's not a bad view like when you pan out there on when you have it on camera, looking at it on TV. It's just a beautiful place to look at, and they should be trying to get more events out there. But the bad thing is, like you said, it is right dab in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a tough selling point to get some of these events there because
Do you go to games out there?
I have never been out there.
I've never been out there either.
I would love to go to a game there. I'd love to go to one of those whiteout games, but that's too far.
A
I'm
lot of
old.
people,
It's
a lot of,
cold, and a lot of people, like over 100,000 people, almost
they're all
110, almost
coughing on you and
yeah. It's
sneezing. And
yeah. I hope they renovate it and they are able to land some of these marquee events because that stadium should be you should see it more on TV than just on Saturdays.
yeah. Yeah, you're seeing what, 6 Saturdays a year,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, it should be more. And if they can get like playoff games there for the college, I would love that.
That would be cool. That would be cool. They should use it a little bit more, Mike.
Yeah.
Before I leave the Pittsburgh Pirates, obviously we're talking Pitt. I mean, the stadiums, the
Mhm.
Pirates. Mike, did you catch this yesterday? The Pirates medical staff, they saved a guest who was having, I think, a heart attack situation. They kept calling it a cardiac event.
Hmm.
The training staff, and it was down at spring training, of course, down in
Yeah.
Fort Bradenton. And I guess somebody was, it was a big thing there in the afternoon. I was trying to scrape up some information on a couple other stories, and that kept popping up was they suffered a heart attack type situation.
Yeah, I saw on God, where was it? It was on their Twitter. They were showing some stuff about it. They had like the hey, here comes ambulances out onto the field and everything. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's wild. That you said the guy's okay and everything, or the
As
person that
far as
happened.
I know, I do believe that he is recovering.
That's awesome. Good. I hope so.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Aaron Donald Aaron Donald donates, Mike. He donates $200,000 to the Pitt football championship fund again. You gotta love Aaron Donald, especially being a Pittsburgh guy. The guy, he grew up here up in Penn Hills. He did his college here. Wouldn't it be nice to have him show up one day in a Steeler uniform? I mean, put all the
Oh,
finances aside and things like that. Just
oh,
imagine him down there on the field at Heinz Field in a Steeler uniform, man.
oh, I would love it. I would be it. I would be over the moon. Like him and Larry Fitzgerald are, I'm a Penn State fan, so you just have that hatred of Pitt, but you cannot hate Larry Fitzgerald and you cannot hate Aaron
Absolutely not.
Donald.
These guys
And if Aaron Donald could be a Pittsburgh Steeler, even if it's for one lousy season, I would love it.
Even like often in a send-off kind of season.
Yes, I would love it. And my God. But Cam Hayward would finally know what it's looked like to play what a real Hall of Fame.
Do not even get me started on Cam. I do have something regarding him coming up.
Oh, I know what we're talking about.
But yes, at $200,000, you got to love this guy. I mean, he seems like a really great guy. He continues to help and contribute to the Pittsburgh Panther University and things for football. I love that. You love to hear that from these guys, especially, I mean, they have mad money. Why not,
Oh, yeah. I like it.
I do too. So do you want, I don't know, we could do a little Steelers, I guess.
Oh,
Everyone seems to like Steeler talk. According to the PFF, Mike, Cam Hayward was the highest ranked defensive player on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense this past season, Mike, with the ranking of 89.7. Now, these are only defensive guys. 89.7, Cam Hayward. The second, Mike, being Minkah Fitzpatrick, 82.4. Okay. Cam Hayward, 89.7. Minkah, 82.4, who was not a replacement in the All-Pro game. He was the number one pick in his position, mind you. He had a great season, many great things, interceptions to win games, things like this. Minkah, second place, 82.4. That third, TJ Watt at 81.7. Say what you will. The guy missed a lot of games due to injury, but he's still a beast. 81.7. Number 4 on the list, Mike. Alex Highsmith, who had a respectable season. You know what our opinion is on him. He had a 78. His ranking was a 78. And finally, to round out the top 5 on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense this season and where they were ranked, according to the PFF, the Mr. Cam Sutton was a 72.2. 72.2. So let me just run through this real quick again. Cam Hayward, 89.7. Minkah Fitzpatrick, 82.4. TJ, 81.7. Alex, 78. And finally, Cam Sutton, 72.2. What the hell is wrong with whoever or whatever is figuring these rankings out, Mike? Tell me, please explain to me how Cam Hayward could possibly sit at that position with that ranking.
I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. My God, how many times would we see Cam Hayward get beat single coverage, single blocking assignment of one-on-one?
Say the guy is this is literally saying the guy's the best defensive player on the team.
He's not. Primary job of a defensive lineman in the 3-4 is to shield blockers from your linebackers. How many times a game did we hear, these linebackers are getting eat up? So he's not doing it. He's not doing it. He had a handful of good games. Minkah Fitzpatrick was their most consistent player from start to finish. And how he is not rated ahead of it. Why? Because he's, helping busted coverage from the cornerbacks in front of him. Guys, there was literally he's the only one back there.
There was literally 2 games that I thought that Minkah didn't live up to what he could have done. One of them was the game where AJ Brown scored 3 touchdowns.
Against Philadelphia. AJ Brown was beating everyone that game.
Exactly. And then there was another game I can't think off the top of my head what it was. However, there's 2 times you counted on one hand, 2 times that I thought that Minkah wasn't on top of his game this season. Now I'm not even throwing this number out there. Just throw a number out there. There was 5, and we've literally counted through the games. If you watch the show, there's 5 different games that I would say that Cam Hayward would have performed at that level of where everyone seems to be putting him. There was 5, Mike. We went through the games, and I would say the other 6 I don't know, 12 games. I don't think that he played anywhere near the level that they're giving him credit for. It's almost like he talks and they just write because, they like what he's saying. They're like, okay, yeah, maybe he is the
Yeah.
best defensive tackle in the league. Let's
Yeah.
write that,
Yeah, he gets shielded from a lot of criticism because let's face it, you look at every sport, and if you are nice to the reporters or if you're affable, you're joking with them, they will often overlook your bad games
Yeah.
and find a way to deflect the blame from you. And that's what happens with Cam a lot in his career. I used to be a huge Cam Hayward fan until I caught on to the fact that, oh, this guy just says what the media wants to hear, and then he can get away with murder out on the field, not performing. Now, in full credit, I do give him reasons why. I do give, reasons why he plays well and reasons why he doesn't play good.
Yeah.
If he has a good game, I will say, hey, he played a damn good game. In those games that he did this year, I was one of the first to say, hey, he can whooped ass. But those were few and far between.
I seen somebody
I just don't see it. I don't
social
see it.
media. They put a goof up yesterday. It was a Cam Hayward picture,
Mhm.
and it said the Cam Hayward had came up with the idea that he figured he's going to retire. You wouldn't
Yeah.
believe the amount of people that jump. Oh, Cam, you still have so much in the tank.
Oh yeah.
Cam, you're so great. Cam, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Cam. I think that he overrates himself,
Mhm.
and like you said, the media kind of runs with it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. The guy says it's him, Aaron Donald, and nobody else. Yeah, you got to have no football knowledge at all to even think that's the case. And for two, find me any more than those 5 games where you would have thought that he was at that level. 5 games, Mike. 5 games. I think the
Mhm.
book ends. It was the first and it was the last, and then a few sprinkled in the middle.
Yeah.
Please,
And they were mostly towards the end of
they
the
were
season.
mostly toward the end. You're right, because we did a lot of complaining. Where's this guy
Mhm.
been? And it was during that little run where he was. I think one game was the Oakland game.
Yeah.
One
But
game.
he balled out in that Oakland game. And I
Atlanta
think the
was the
Ravens game
emotion.
too.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
Baltimore, and Oakland, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, he
Cincinnati
balled.
game 1 and Cleveland game
Oh yeah.
17.
Yeah, he balled out in those games, man. But it's like he had a huge chunk where like, where's Cam? Where's Cam? But everyone goes, oh well, the people around him aren't that good. But yet everyone wants to bring back Ogunjobi. So which is it? Cam had no one around him, or Ogunjobi was that good?
Yeah,
Because there are a lot of times Ogunjobi was the more dominant player on that
I like
line.
Ogunjobi a lot.
Me too. If he can come back healthy, oh my god, I'd love to have him at a good rate.
And the
But that
he's
defense is so overpaid though right now.
and Cam is so big, and a lot of times you're seeing out there sucking air.
Yeah.
Say, especially these games that we were getting dominated early in the year, we're just running. We couldn't stop anybody to
Oh
save our
yeah.
lives. Probably all the way up to that first Baltimore game. Anything up to that point, we were having trouble stopping the run game, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And all you look out there and all you see is this guy sucking air, hands on his hips. Looks like he can't wait to get off the
Yeah.
field. If you could find anybody, I mean, please, I challenge you in a way. If you could find any more than those 5 games where Cam Hayward would play, you would say that Cam
Yeah.
Hayward played to that level where he all continuously says he's at.
Yeah.
I encourage you to please send it in. I would like to see it. I'm not going to argue with you. We're not going to debate with you.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see it because we watched every game pretty closely this season, and I can honestly say those 5 games, Mike, were the 5 games that he would be where he says that he is.
Yeah, he's not there. He's not there at all. He's not even close. And yeah, I would like that trade there, Derpy. Trade Highsmith to the Niners. Or Highsmith into the Bucks for Mike Evans. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Huh. I'd pack his fucking bags.
And Deontay the Giants for their 3rd picks. Hell yeah. Because I can get myself an outside linebacker in the 3rd round, just like I got Highsmith, and pick one up in free agency that can play just as well. When you have TJ Watt getting all the double teams. I
would pack his bags. I'd walk him to the car. I'd hold his hand. I do have a little bit on that, Mike. We did talk about the Mike Evans rumors yesterday. However, since then, I also see the Dallas Cowboys and Mike Evans talk is heating up. They want to get somebody opposite side, CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And Mike Evans is a name that keeps coming up in this conversation. I mean, realistically, I think we have a lot of things that we have to take care of before we take care of the other wide receiver spot, which would make me think that it would be more possible for him to go to a team like Dallas,
Yeah.
who's really trying to land that other wide receiver to kind of fill their
Yeah.
core of wide receivers. What I'd love for him to come here, absolutely. How could you not? I mean, Mike Evans, but
A future Hall of Famer, my God.
exactly. But I just think we have so many issues, and I just don't think I can't see the Rooneys and the GM and Steelers going after this name right now.
See, I don't know, like Omar Khan, man, he's coming up with, fresh ideas. Andy Weidel coming from Philly, they just won just made it to the Super Bowl, and they have a top 10 pick. This shows, he's coming from an organization that is not afraid to make trades and trade players out to get better draft picks to look for the future. Omar Khan has always been, like, we've known him as the capologist. And, so we really don't know what kind of idea he really has, but we're kind of getting a hint. We saw him trade Chase Claypool for a second. No one thought Claypool would be traded. We thought, we would wait. So it wouldn't surprise me if, I don't know if a Mike Evans type trade would happen, but maybe something along those lines to get a better receiver that we have. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if you see one or two players moved off this roster for draft picks, or like a player and draft pick for other players.
I couldn't agree more. I can't wait to see what Omar Khan does. I can't wait to draft day. I can't wait to free agents. I'm very excited. And it almost like there's a buildup, like he has to do something really,
to hold himself apart from Kevin Colbert.
Yes. The other big trade, Mike, in the AFC, rumors, of course, Patriots, the talk with Patriots being interested in bringing T. Higgins to New England, because New England needs to seriously get something going with that offense. They were almost just as bad as we were early on in the season, and they're looking for some outlets, something to make that offense a little stronger. And T. Higgins, I think drastically improves that New England Patriots offense.
Very, very much so. Give Mac Jones a legit number one receiver. Yeah. That's no disrespect to like the receivers they have, but not. Jacoby Myers, you don't look at him as the guy,
right?
You don't look at who else do they have? Devontae Parker as that guy. Maybe Devontae Parker a few years ago, but not right now in his career. So you get T. Higgins there, nice little receiving core. They're starting to fill out there.
Not a fan of the team, but I think as a football fan, that's a good pickup for them.
If you're Mac Jones, you're calling Bill up and going, make this a reality.
Yeah,
please get me one of the better receivers in the league. Because he was their guy until Jamar Chase came there.
Yeah, absolutely. And even something like Tyler Boyd, maybe he should start shopping around a little bit, because I think he is way too good to be that team's 2 or 3 receiver. He could go somewhere and be a 1 easily. I think that Jamar Chase, was a great. How can you not take him if you're the Cincinnati Bengals?
Oh yeah.
But ultimately, I think that maybe Tyler Boyd. I'm not sure what his contract looks like, but at some point should start looking around and shopping around.
Because T. Higgins, finished his 3rd year, so he is. Yeah, at the end of his contract's coming up. Tyler Boyd's contract, I am not sure on. Let me take a.
That guy's scary. I
all 3 of those receivers are good receivers.
And it's just like you can't utilize all 3 when you have a Jamar Chase, because he's such a beast.
You can't. There's not enough footballs to go around.
Exactly.
But they're coming close to winning championships. I can see them being kind of, hey, let's what was I going to say? Being okay with not getting the amount of catches they are, because they're they're coming close to winning championships and everything. So I can see them being okay.
I just wonder how long.
But personally, they might want to go elsewhere.
That's what I'm saying. I just wonder how long that mindset will sit with Tyler Boyd, or with T. Higgins if he does go elsewhere, putting Tyler at that number 2 spot, solid in that spot. And his production goes up. I could see him maybe sticking around in that case, but he's too good of a receiver to be overshadowed.
Yeah, this is Tyler Boyd's last year. 2023 will be his last year. In 2024, when he turns 30, he'll be an unrestricted free agent. So he still has a couple good years left in him. So maybe look at him, get him signed to a 3-4 year deal.
I think he would be an amazing I think fit they would. We have.
Yeah, I think if Cincinnati had, to pick one or the other to get rid of, I'd get rid of Tyler Boyd and keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. But how are you going to be able to pay T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow all at the same time because they're coming up boom, boom, boom.
Do me a favor while we're sitting here. Pull up the receivers numbers for Cincinnati. Tell the past 5 without Jamar Chase. I don't know. I guess you really can't pull up the receivers numbers and see what T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd's numbers are like comparable to one another.
Okay, this year,
Excuse me.
I have it sitting right here right now. So T. Higgins had 1,000 yards. Tyler Boyd had 762. T. Higgins 7 touchdowns, 5 catches. Targets. Higgins had 109. Tyler Boyd 82.
And this was this season.
That was just this season.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me real quick. Oh, I'm an idiot. Let me pull up each one's career stats here. Okay, so for career, Tyler Boyd has 5,300 yards, 29 touchdowns, and he just finished his, I believe, 7th season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he just finished his 7th, and T. Higgins finished up his 3rd year, has 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. But you have to figure, yeah, you have to figure that, like, you know, Tyler Boyd's only been catching passes from really good quarterback for the past couple years.
Right.
But he did have, 2018, 2019 back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't be sitting in the shadows. Like I said, I think that, especially if T. Higgins goes elsewhere, like we're saying, maybe possibly to New England, that will definitely pump up his production a little bit. But ultimately, this kid, he's too good to be sitting at a 3. He really is. And you've seen it back when they didn't have all the players, the damage that he was able to do to the Steelers, being a Bengal receiver without Joe Burrow, without Jamar Chase. He was the guy that was going to kill you. It was always Tyler Boyd. The guy's mad athletic, and he's got tons of skill, man.
Sorry, real quick. Yeah, but Derby, real quick. Back to the Steelers, real quick. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having trading Deontay or Highsmith and a draft pick to get Jahan Dawson, and then moving what's his name out of here, Mr. Drops.
Deontay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting rid of Deontay and give me Jahan Dawson. But yeah, Tyler Boyd, he could go somewhere in the last part of his career and be a solid number one. I think he'd be a 1 on a team that,
like the Giants.
Yeah, he would be a number 1 on the Giants, but their quarterback situation, would he want to go there?
Yeah.
Me, I'd rather stay in Cincinnati. I'd be that number 3. I have Joe Burrow throwing me the ball. I have a good team around me, and hey, this might be my best chance to win a championship. The only way I would leave is if I'm going to like Kansas City, Philadelphia,
right,
or Buffalo or San Francisco, like one of those teams. Right. Yeah, because I'm not going to want to leave one of the better teams in the league to go to a worse team. But he would be a number 1 in Kansas City.
It hurts my brain that New York is so hung up on this quarterback up there, the Giants, Mike.
Yeah.
It really doesn't, and they keep going on and on about him like he's one of the elite quarterbacks.
Oh,
what is it? What is it about Jones? I don't see it.
This happens you see it in draft, and we see it in the free agency. Man, quarterback markets in both the draft and free agency get overinflated. Everything becomes crazy with them. This is why people are saying the salary cap quarterbacks should have their own special category, because Daniel Jones wants 40 million.
Oh,
no, dude had 15 touchdowns last year.
Yeah,
15. He ran for 7 more, but 15 throwing touchdowns, 5 picks.
And here's the thing. I mean, yes, he's athletic. Yes, he does a little bit more than the pocket quarterback does do. But is he a guy that I'm scared of when I'm playing the Giant?
No,
he's not the Lamar Jackson. No, he's not. He's not that guy. He's just not. No. He's not that guy. I don't get him, Mike. I don't get what the Giants, what their big hang up is on him. For their sake, I hope he does well. But geez, I just
his best year was his rookie year. He 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. So you're thinking, okay, we have something here. Then the numbers just dropped. Yeah, the receivers around him aren't the greatest, and the team had some issues. But the 11 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 15, 11 and 10. 10 and 7, 15 and 5 for picks. Yeah, but
if you get him out in the open field, I've seen him burn corners and safeties. I mean, the guy, when he gets in that open field, he could run. He's
the Wish version of Josh Allen.
Yeah,
is what he is. And he's never lived up to the hype of being that top that first round pick, 6th overall. He's never lived up to it. Yeah, like you saw like, oh, his rookie year, okay, this might be a guy, and then it's just all falling apart.
Right.
Like,
Mike, we do have to move on. We have a lot to go over here. Let's go across town to the ice. Penguins had their night of assists last night. You see all the guys. They have
yeah.
what, you think that what's this all about? I don't really know much about it. I seen they did it last season. I seen it this season. What is this to raise money? Is that what that's all about?
Well, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime they do something like that, I think it's to raise money.
Almost like a casino thing. Like you go and they
it's a charity auction stuff. They've been doing this for years now, where like the players dress up. They used to do ones where like they would serve dinner at places. Now they've gone to like the casino type thing.
I think those things are cool. I think
they are too. Always,
yeah.
It's a nice little charity event, and you get to interact with the players.
Mike, before I do the one thing I do want to talk about, there's a name being linked to the Penguins. The defenseman from the Ducks, Dmitry Kudakov.
Mm-hmm.
You know anything about Kudakov? That is,
I've heard the name. I'm gonna like once I get into like the West Coast players. I'm not the guy.
But we do,
unfortunately.
But you did say that we do need to get something going on defense, get something going in
Dmitry
front of our goalies.
Kulikov.
Yes.
Another 32-year-old defenseman. No wonder I've heard the name before.
Yeah. But this gentleman is being linked to the Penguins. And and we're all kind of watching Ron Hextall sit on his hands
and do nothing.
But that is the area. I mean, we do want to bring in, a little defensive help in front of the goalies in those bottom 6 positions, correct?
We do, but come on now. We got to be able to do better than a 32-year-old defenseman.
Really, doesn't thrill you? This
does not thrill me. No. This team needs to be younger in every facet of the game, younger and better.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's no one in the farm system like when we called up all those young guys like Brian Rust and
right.
Connor Sherry. We don't have any of those guys
really
in the farm system ready to come up in the Philly spots. And now if Kulikov is going to come over and be kind of like how we the trade we got for like Trevor Daly, be that second Chris Letang.
I like that. I think Trevor Daly was
an awesome pickup. Yeah. But I don't think Kulikov's going to be that guy.
You don't think he's going to be the guy?
Wrong. I don't think he's going to be that guy.
I mean, the non activity from Ron Hextall. I mean, would it be exciting just to get something?
But at that point, you're just making a trade to make a trade to say, hey, I did something,
which is
guys.
What he said
I did
he wasn't
something.
Gonna do.
Yeah, so he's going to make a trade to make a trade. But sometimes, like in hockey, a player for player trade is what you need to shake up both teams, and it can work out in the end. But like the Penguins, they need better. They need better. They have to move on from some of these older guys, get younger.
Okay. That was just those few points I did want to touch on with the Penguins, Mike. But my favorite part of the show is coming up right now. Yesterday was the college draft for the USFL. The Pittsburgh Maulers, they had 10 picks, Mike. 10 picks, count them.
And
their number one pick is what everyone seems to be talking about. The first pick, he was a quarterback, Lindsey Scott Jr. In the draft. He won the Walter Payton Award. And he threw for an FSC record 60 touchdowns last season. 60 touchdowns last season.
Wow.
And 4,657 yards last season, almost 5,000 yards. 94 career touchdowns. But he is coming from an incarnate word, Cardinals, which is slightly higher than the
powerhouse, baby.
Slightly higher than the college that I played football for, which was nobody. So, but he does. I mean, he looks like he's an athletic guy. Again, 60 touchdowns. And of course, the competition in this league isn't going to be amazing NFL competition.
No.
So for what it is, I think we got a pretty nice number one pick, Mike. He was the first round pick. It was the number 2 pick overall.
Hey, like you said, man, 60 touchdowns to 8 picks. That's a damn good.
Yeah. 5,
almost... You know what? With that mascot that they have, that angry Cardinal mascot.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Their second pick, Mike, round 2, pick 9, they picked up a defenseman. His name is Malik Ham. I went into detail with the number 1 pick. However, I'm not going to do that for the rest of them because we only have 11 minutes left in the show. Malik Ham, they picked up the defensive end. Third pick was the third round. 17 pick was of an offensive lineman named Trequay Dorsey.
From the powerhouse St.
Traquan.
Francis.
Traquan
Dorsey.
Traquan Dorsey. The fourth round pick, number 25 overall. What's this say? His name is Fernando Jordan. He was a place kicker.
He's a cornerback. Corner.
Why do they have it as a PK for me? But anyway, I'll take your word on that. Fifth round.
Oh, he did have 5 career pick sixes. That's yeah. Fuck yeah, that's a ball hawk right there. I don't care what level you're playing at. That's a ball hawking safety or corner.
The fifth round, 33 pick overall, Isaiah Land, who's a defensive end,
edge rusher. Yeah.
The 6th round, 41st pick overall, Nash Jensen, offensive lineman. They not a good. I mean, they're going after the lineman. You need to do
you got to build a solid line.
Then the next guy was Tyler Grimes
from the incarnate word.
Yes,
you get your quarterback receiver. This is the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, right here, baby, of the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Let's see the round. What do we got? 8th round. The 8th round pick was a wide receiver named CJ Turner, 57th pick overall.
You got to build up that offense, man.
Number 9, round 9, 65th pick overall, defensive lineman Jacob Slade
out of Michigan State. Got some pedigree right there.
Yes, got to like that. And finally, Mike, their 10th round, 73rd pick overall is Ethan Evans. He's a punter. You need somebody to kick the ball around, right?
This mine says kicker, so he could be either or.
Yeah, they must have switched yes, because for some reason I have punter for the Ethan Evans and somebody else had a place kicker. So my kickers are mixed around or something. Yeah. But Ethan Evans, where's he out of?
He is out of. I just scrolled past him. Wingate, baby.
Wingate. There you go.
When I think Wingate, I think basketball.
When I think Wingate, I think game is on the line. Ball's at the 36-yard line. You need a guy to kick that long field goal to win it. And I think Wingate.
Wingate, man. Win is in the name. But no, I don't mean to laugh at these picks. It's just,
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Like I said, man, this is giving these guys a chance to keep playing the game that they love.
Yes.
And shit, man, there's nothing to laugh at about that. I hopefully, some of these guys can play well enough here. I think get some film out there that teams go, hey, let's give this guy a shot. Let's send him we're going to sign him to a futures contract, bring him in, see how he does in the off season, early parts of, those OTAs and training and early training camp. Is there something here or not? So fuck yeah. I like
all things considered what it is.
Yeah.
Again, it's the USFL.
Yeah.
I think they had a pretty good draft. I mean, people keep continuing to go on and on. A lot of these guys, of course, you don't know much about.
No, but I like scrolling through some of these picks after you get outside of some of the schools you never heard of. But
right.
I'm seeing Miami, Boise State, TCU, Oklahoma, UCLA, NC State, Kansas. These are some pretty good schools.
So it's going to be a lot
Tennessee,
of fun.
West Virginia. Yeah,
we are, Mike. We're going to go. I'm going to go. I don't know if you're going to go, but if we do go, we can make a weekend. We can watch the Maulers.
Tommy Maddox do be like,
we got to go up because we can make a weekend. We could go watch the game, go check out the Hall of Fame, which are a couple things that I want to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're all open camp.
But I want to get up and support these Maulers. I want to show support with the attendance if I can do that. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited about it. Another Pittsburgh team, black and gold now. So
I forgot we are playing in Canton this year. I forgot about that. Yeah.
We'll take the trek up there.
No, I've been to the Hall of Fame.
I've been there a couple of times, man. When we were kids, we played football. They would take you at the end of the year, and it was an amazing, amazing time. I loved going, and I'm kind of regretting never being back since then.
I went there one time, and it was an enjoyable experience. It was like the Pittsburgh Steeler Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
How many Steelers? Oh, Steeler. Now you wonder. Now you go there and you see how many Steelers are there. You start to understand why people hate voting in. Steelers.
I love it.
Because there's so many Steelers.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
I love it.
A couple of things I do want to touch on, Mike, before we go today. The Brat. Do you remember the Brat? She was a female rapper when we were growing up. Funkified was her song. Feeling so funkified. Do you remember her?
Let me see the picture of. Yeah, now I do.
The brat, Mike, is pregnant at age 48 years old. 48-year-old Debrat is pregnant. That's a rough. That's a rough road.
That is a rough road.
She's gonna be 66, 67 years old when her child becomes an adult. I mean, that's almost 70 years old, for crying out loud. Also,
yeah, but I mean, look at her though. I'm looking at a picture now. She does not look 48 years old.
No, she was always kind of good looking, I thought.
She does not look 48 years old. So yeah, she'll be like 65, still looking like the same age. Okay, so she'll be fine there.
Also, Mike, Pittsburgh, well represented at Mardi Gras this year. There was a float, Mike, a float of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, Fred Rogers. There was a float of Fred down at Mardi Gras this year. So
I like it.
Ash Wednesday, Mardi Gras, that time of year, it's here. And Mr. Rogers was afloat. How cool was that?
That is awesome because Mr. Rogers was a Pittsburgh legend, but PBS baby, everyone knows Fred Flippin' Rogers. And if you don't know Fred Flippin' Rogers, I don't want to know you.
I shared a donut with Fred Rogers one time. That's a whole other story for one other day. But I with him and Mr. McFeely it was a really neat experience.
I remember you told me this.
Yeah, I told you, yes.
Yeah.
Also, a couple other things, Mike. Florida man charged with aggravated assault. He threw an alligator through a drive-through window at Wendy's. These guys they're trying to seem like they're trying to top one another with this crazy shit at these windows. I'm seeing these things become more and more extreme. This gentleman in Florida, Mike, threw an alligator through the window.
Come on now, it's Wendy's. It's when you don't.
Hey, they got a good
Wendy's.
Spicy chicken sandwich, man. That might be worth it.
I'm like if this happened to like a McDonald's, Burger King, an Arby's, a Taco Bell, I understand. But this Wendy's, you don't fuck with Dave. Okay, you don't fuck with Fred Rogers. You don't fuck with Dave. What next? You be throwing shit at Bob Ross? Fuck this guy.
A couple of things I do want to say. Bob Ross, I was watching his video, Mike, and they were showing his pictures, and they were saying a lot of them go together. Like if you would watch all the pictures that he made over the years, and you put them together, it's almost like one continuous journey. I thought, how cool was that? If that would be the case, I don't know it to be true, but it was something that I saw.
I saw one real quick. It was like Bob Ross's paintings were locations where he buried all of his victims.
Serial killer Bob Ross.
He was a serial killer Bob Ross.
I saw that as well.
I'm like, you know what? I dig it.
Food, Mike. I do want to mention one thing about food before we go. I went on and on and on for maybe 10 years about this Twister that they took away from KFC. I don't know if you remember the Twister or not. It was amazing. They took it away. Everybody went on and complained about it. I can't believe they took away the Twister. Bring back the Twister. They came back with these smaller twists, they call them. I tried them yesterday. Why they would change something that was great. Why they would change something that everybody wants and put pickles inside of the classic. And in the spicy one, Mike, they used hot coleslaw, spicy coleslaw. So you're going to go away from something that everybody wants, which drives me nuts because it was amazing, and then put pickles in one and coleslaw in the other. The major fail. That's a major fail for KFC, in my opinion. They had to go back to the regular Twister or nothing.
Yes, they do that.
Nobody's happy about this. Nobody's happy about coleslaw.
No, yeah, I'm not liking this. You got pickles in there. No. Spicy coleslaw. No, I'm sorry. I'm old school honky. Coleslaw should not be spicy.
Seems like KFC does this with everything. They came out with their spicy chicken. I thought this was gonna be amazing. It's KFC. It's spicy chicken. It was probably the worst spicy chicken out of the bunch. KFC, I don't know what the hell they're doing. No. I don't know who sits back and makes these decisions, but
no,
I'm not thrilled.
No.
And finally, Mike, tonight, Beavis and Butthead. Check out the new episode of Beavis and Butthead, 10:30 on Comedy Central. I love it. I love it. There is nothing that I love more than watching Beavis and Butthead. Mike, why don't you go ahead and knock out the website and we'll hit this trivia real quick, man.
Yes, Rip McRib. 2dumbyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head over there. We have links to everything you need for us: YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, links to Twitter's, Facebook is on there, the merchandise stores on there, everything you need at 2dumbyinzers.com.
And there you go, everybody. We're live every day from Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We hope that you please continue to keep checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. And the show that we do every day gets uploaded that evening at 8 o'clock over on Spotify in podcast form. If you want to just check it out, have it on in the car, on your earbuds, whatever. This show will be uploaded at 8 o'clock this evening on Spotify. Go check it out. Mike, we have a little time for one trivia question?
Yeah, we can do trivia.
All right. I'm sticking with the XFL theme this week. Monday and Tuesday, we did XFL questions. Today, we're going to do the same. Here we go, everybody. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. The NFL has a 40-second play clock, Mike. How much time is on the XFL's play clock?
$30.
30 seconds. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Anybody on the board, do you want to take a stab at it as well? The NFL has a 40-second play clock. How much time is on the XFL play clock? Mike says 30 seconds. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and lock Mike in.
Lock it in. 30 seconds. Sorry.
And finally, one more time. The NFL has a 40-second play clock. What is the amount of time on an XFL play clock? Mike says 30. Unfortunately, that's incorrect, Mike. The
15?
play clock over in the XFL is 25 seconds.
Ooh, Derpy. I like his 69.
I do. They did that to speed the game along. I like it. Helps things move along a little faster. But Mike, that is the answer today. The answer is 25 seconds. Do you have anything before we take off, man?
I got nothing.
We got to get that thing. We have to get that thing back on the screen because I'm watching the show on 3 different monitors, and it really seems like you just go off in these things where you're talking to yourself.
You see, I like it. That adds to the excitement that I'm fucking crazy.
Well, but nobody knows what you're talking about.
That's fine by me. That's fine by me.
Well, but anyway, we'll work on that. Hey, we do want to thank you. Like I said, thank you for checking